You got to get on out.
Welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus, living in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's going on, my beautiful people? All is well on my end.
And we got a special guest in here. One of my favorite players from back in the day. ABA Hall of Famer, NBA Hall of Famer. Well, the Chicago Bulls, one of my favorite players of all time. Give it up for the big fella, man, Artis Gilmore. What's up, big fella?
All right. Okay. Thank you, man. What an introduction. Wow. Thank you very much. Good to catch up with you guys. And like you guys are doing it up right now, especially with this new technology.
Yeah.
Third.
Yeah. Yeah, Artis, we know you got to make some runs, man. But I just want to thank you, man, for even giving us this opportunity to talk to you a little bit when we can. But you had an awesome career. And Chicagoans, they love them some Artis Gilmore, man. A lot of people was talking about the afro. Some people was talking about the pork chop sideburns.
Yeah.
And then your short shorts that you had on back in the day. So tell us some of the memories you had playing in Chicago.
Well, it was really kind of a unique experience. You're reflecting back on the Chicago Bulls. I think they had. They were probably celebrating close to about 25 years been having the existence of a franchise. And so they were fairly young, and they had gone through some transition periods with players and, players injured, Bob Love and Jerry Sloan and some of the key people. But then when the league merged, I came aboard. I was one of the first players, and then we had Scott May, who was a first-round player from Indiana, and he missed 3 years because of injuries, and a combination of things happening to him for 3 years. But we struggled a little bit. But we ended up having we started off very poorly my first year there, but then we finished really, really strong. We played against the Portland Trailblazers and Lionel Hollins and Bill Walton, Maurice Lucas, that really outstanding tantrum. And then we lost the series. They end up they win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the beginning of a 6.5-year career in Chicago. When I say half, I went away to San Antonio, spent some years, and then returned, come back, and got that little half in there.
So Artis, how did you get the nickname the A Train?
Well, when you think in terms of a train, you think about power.
Right.
And that's what I exemplify when I went on the floor with just, well, not brutal strength, but I'd say strong, so, being able to get things done with the leverage and power.
Yeah.
And so, when they started introducing me on the court to introduce everybody, we were the first organization probably to turn the lights down, those gas lanterns, and after turning them off and introducing the players and then taking a few minutes for those things to come back up. But anyways, as the last player introduced on the floor, and then that, everybody looking at those different nicknames and came up with the A Train, and it stuck and become part of my identity.
It fits you perfect too, man. It fits you perfect. And I remember my dad telling me some stories about, because my dad watched you play a lot. And he was like, man, he was just so strong. Like your hands. Did you do a lot of hand exercises, man, or just natural? Because I mean, you had that ball and you just like toy it around like this.
Yeah, just developing a firm grip. There was a few little exercises, but not like the mindset and the trained athletes today. They have their individual trainers and individual dietitian and just everything is so different now. But yeah, I had a somewhat of a nice little firm grip, and I was pretty proud of it.
Yeah, did you think you could play in this era though? Because you were fast though. You were a big man, but you were fast. I saw some videos, man. You would run up and down that court like it's like nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And transition up and down the floor and playing the perimeter. You know, the big guys. We talk, speak about the evolution of the game and how the big guys kind of rotated around and out. But there was only a very just select few guys who really played. You know, Bob Lanier, Bill Russell came out. They call it the sixth play. He was number 6.
Okay,
This is 6. That's number 6. But anyways, they call it the sixth play. Bill Russell come out and do the pick and roll, go to the basket, and you look at Bill Walton and Wilt Chamberlain had the little bank shot off the glass, and it just selected. Bob Lanier had a little left-handed jumper from the around the perimeter, and Jack Sickman, all of the great centers. It's kind of in and out. Wes Unseld playing the perimeter, but we really never focus on it until we start observing today's young players, and then you had guys like Stephen Curry who pushed the marker back even a little farther, So that's when all of a sudden the attention start focusing on this evolutionary changes of interchangeable athletes on the floor.
right. And A-Train, what was your go-to move? Like I try to tell these young generations, you got to have a go-to move. What was your go-to move? Was it the jump hook that you mastered because you had a nice jump hook, or was it just getting close to that basket and I'm gonna rip it down?
That's the objective of getting that high percentage shot, putting it away, making it count. Nobody's going to block it. And, I find the ways, and you mentioned the fact of strength, and I had a really little nice and a little quick move, quick step, quick little dunk shot. But, I was really comfortable with my hook shot, the little sweeping hook through the lane. And when the lane is clogged, you had the double team. It was nice to have that little jump hook as well. And so I had somewhat of a variety of things, but certainly the go-to and most comfortable and for certain shot, high percentage shot was to get to the basket and put it away with the stuff.
He was dunking every ball, Liv. You know that.
Yeah.
He was dunking every ball. Was you left-handed?
Left-handed, yes.
I figured that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Are you happy with the direction of the game right now that you see it from back when you came and then where it is right now?
Well, what I mentioned earlier, it's the evolution of the game. And I was remember, if you look back a little bit, and certainly we brought it in, the 3-point play perimeter shot, and it kind of really, that opened up the floor and prevented that congested area where you're getting so much of a double team. Guys could hit that shot, and then, you guys like, I mentioned Stephen Curry. He has perfected this range, and I watch the guys go farther and farther away from the basket. But, you talk about speaking in terms of the early decision when we played, if a guy walked out on the floor and one of our guys, a guard or forward, and he had 2 or 3 shots and he missed 2 or 3 shots in a row, the coach had a little hook. You looking over your shoulder, but Stephon didn't shoot. I made 9, 10 shots in a row. No big deal. Coach, keep shooting. You got to keep shooting. It's about a confidence thing, and it was the short-term live. If you missed a few shots, the coach had that authority to the point that I said, "Well, listen, it's about winning." And my guy that I have out there that I go-to guy that's shooting from the perimeter, He's already missed 3 shots, and the opposing team is already capitalizing, taking it back to the other end of the floor and put the shots away. So, yeah, absolutely. These are things that certainly that has made the game interchangeable and different, and you have to evolve and grow with the game, and that's what that's what it's about. Being able to make the adjustment and understand and appreciate what's happening on the floor with these young, talented individuals today.
Yeah,
That's real.
yeah, and you are a true definition of a power center. And the reason why I say that, when I looked up your stats, as far as college go, we just talking about the college career, 22 plus rebounds and over 23 points a game in college for your career. You don't see centers putting up those type of numbers. I don't think you would probably ever see a center putting up those type of numbers that you put up, Artis, and that the true definition of what you were all about. You were probably, you gritty. You was like, I'm gonna get this rebound. This is my rebound, and when I get close to the basket, I'm gonna do what I need to do when I get the ball.
Right. And and when we talk about that time frame and the success that I enjoyed in college, but during that time there was one other little forward that was right behind me, and he was in that same category, and his name was Julius Irvin. I think they called him Dr. J.
Oh,
It was the two of them. You're right. There have not been that many double guys, scoring, in double figures, as well as doubling on the rebound. And Julius happened to be in that category as well.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, we a couple of times early on, we had a chance to sort of get together and play in all-star games, and I thought about said, well, I led the nation. I was the first at the top of the list in that double category you're speaking of. But then there was this other guy behind me. It was right there.
Wow.
So, Julius Irvin, Dr. J. So
wow. Well, we can't let you go without mentioning Wilt Chamberlain, because a lot of people want to, understand, because I've never seen him play. Can't find too many videos of him out there. Did he really actually score 100 points in the ball game?
Yeah, in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Yeah, you have to look it up. And the guys said they wanted to make sure, And the weird thing about it is, when he went to the free throw line, that he would, that they had that invisible plane right there where you put your foot on the line, you take a shot.
Okay.
But Wilt would take a running start because that line was not a factor then. So, and he'll float to the basket and put a little finger roll over into the basket. So, you had 100% chance that you were going to score. So until they insert this other rule in, the invisible line, you can't step over the line until the ball make contact with the basket. So, but Wilt was an extraordinary athlete. He could do so many things. I remember one category, he said, well, I'm going to lead the league in assists. And he was just looking to get the ball to people. And he did. And I'm going to lead the league in league in scoring. And then he said, I'm going to lead the league in rebound. He just selective. But he was a really, truly extraordinary basketball player, volleyball player, athlete. And back in Kansas, he was a high jumper. So he was good.
Right.
Well, very well. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Artis, before we let you go, because I know you got to run. I want to
ask a question too, Lynn, before you let him go.
All right, before I let you go, I just want you to talk. Well, go ahead, ask your question, because he got a book, and I want.
Because most people, a lot of us don't understand when you guys made that transition from the ABA to the NBA. Were you guys happy with that move? I mean, because the ABA, y'all had the fancy balls, and I think somebody asked you that question to one of y'all, why you like playing in the league, because of the balls, or somebody said that. And the game was
probably be.
That was you.
Funny, it was like the media was attempting to set you up and
Uh-huh.
say something because they were really upset with the fact that the league really they merged at the time that it happened because the league when they were apart like that it really put more pressure on the owners to pay the players more a better salary.
Mhm.
Right.
And so when the league came about, the ABA was really struggling. Invested a considerable amount of more funds probably in the NBA, and the NBA was the most established league, and they had the nice venues, the larger venues to play in, and ABA was playing in a number of collegiate facilities. So it was a appropriate time and a special time when the leagues decided to come about and the four expansion teams came in and you guys remember all four of them, right? There you go. I know you would.
I know
Denver,
it.
Indianapolis, and then you got the San Antonio Spurs, and of course the Nets. All those
Right.
four teams came in.
Nice.
Wow. Wow. Well, Artis, man, you definitely, I think you gave our listeners some knowledge. We're gonna do two things. I want you to talk about what today's athletes. So if I had a little son or somebody I'm teaching, what do you think they need to work on to be a successful basketball player? And then I want you to talk about your book, and then we will let you go.
Oh, great, great, great. The most important thing that I would share with the young athletes developing, the first thing is knowledge, knowledge, and that's in academics, basketball, or whatever. If you have the knowledge, you'll be able to make really good decisions, and that's part of the game. And with the knowledge, you know when to really push yourself and get to the point or reach a point where you're providing the maximum of your potentials. And so the most important thing that I would emphasize to young kids, you're mentally prepared. You get it between the two ears, that's where it starts. And then the rest is going to be history. You're going to realize and understand what you have to do to prepare yourself to be an athlete, be competitive. That's at the collegiate, high school level, as at the collegiate level. That's at the next level professionally. But first of all, it starts upstairs.
Wow. Wow. Now let's talk about that wonderful book, man, because I'm definitely gonna get me a copy of the book. So um, talk a little bit about the book. Is it released yet? Or when is it coming out? And how can they
Oh
get it?
yeah. Oh yes. We're a little over a year. Last May we released it. Here comes the A Train.
Okay.
Nice.
And it's pretty special. And I worked on it for with some colleagues. We worked on this book for quite a while, and we trying to determine what we wanted to do and the way I wanted to present it. But there's a number of things that's the most important thing as kind of a somewhat of an author in a book. Uh, the interesting things about a book is that people are looking, not necessarily fans, but they're looking for negative things. And
Right.
that's one thing that I try. In negative, that's what sells. I mean, that really moves things.
Mhm.
And that was, I mean, there is a considerable amount of history that I wanted to share, but for the most part, I wanted to stay away from all of that
Mm-hmm.
and just put together, talk about, some of the things that I was able to make the transition from as a young kid struggling, growing up until making a quick step. And when I say quick steps, transition from the collegiate level to the NBA, because most of my counterparts, like just to say for an example, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all those guys. He grew up in New York City, and Powell Memorial High School, and he was able to get a good start and good people looking after him. And he said, shared with me once that his idol was Jackie Robinson. He was encouraging him and persuaded him to leave New York City, where everybody thought that he was going to go from St. John's, because he was the greatest player in the history of New York, the most well-known athlete. And he decided to go all the way out west to UCLA because Jackie Robinson encouraged him.
Wow.
But then reflecting back to Artis Gilmore, the A-Train book, I didn't have those little steps in front of me. But so anyways, I just touched on a couple of things and didn't talk about, some of the basic, what I've observed from other players like, Michael Jordan. And so, in other words, I sort of keep it as simple. And, that's the point that I wanted to make. And hopefully that whomever are able to pick up the book and read it, that's what they'll be able to take away from it.
Yeah. And Artis, that's awesome, man, because I'm the same way. I think the same way. It's so negative, negativity do sells. And to me, it's sad, because it's a lot of good things out there, got a lot of good people out there that want to share good stories. But the media sometimes they poke until they get that negativity out of you and then make it into something. And then now you got beef with, other players or what have you. But no, I'm definitely going to get the book. And I really enjoy, you coming on our show today, sharing some knowledge. We know you had to go. So we tried to get as much as we could in there. And whenever you want to come back and join us, feel free. We'd love to have you come back on if you can, one day and just talk a little bit more about the history, the history of, the basketball, how, the blacks, had to integrate themselves.
Yeah.
Into that.
Man, absolutely. I'd be more than happy, Marcus. And that's an incredible story that, we're looking at evolutionary, especially since COVID-19 has come in. It's brought a considerable amount of attention, especially in the minority communities. And that's, that's where we want to, we're trying to move things forward. And it's the process is a challenge, I said, if my father was alive today, he would be on July 7th, he would be 120 years old. So he's right on that borderline, of me being a descendant, not that far from slavery,
Right.
and growing up in a little small town in Chipley, Florida. Certainly, we experienced an awful lot, considering the divide between race and across the track. You live across the track.
You don't go over there, right?
Yeah. So, absolutely.
So
Guys,
yeah, just
I look forward to come back and
let me know whenever, and then we'll do a part 2, and then that part 2 will be us talking about that segue. So again, man, appreciate you for coming on, Mr. Artis Gilmore. To all our listeners, we had a good one, man. The A-Train.
First,
The
All
legend.
right, Bobby. Thank you.
First,
All right.
the first NBA player I ever met, man. Give it up to my man, boy. Chicago State Summer League. Love you, Artis, man.
Absolutely, guys.
Be safe,
God
Artis.
bless you, big bro.
All right. Absolutely.
Take care.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Man.
Hey, man, I love Artis Gilmore, though, G. Straight up. Hey, the first player I ever met, first NBA player I ever met, man. Hey, straight up, man. He was so humble, though, Liv.
Man, what you talk about, dude? This is all ball Chicago. This how we do it, man. We do it like this, man. So, a straight legend, Hall of Famer. You heard him talk, man. Like the things that he accomplished, the things that he did. He's so humble, though. You can hear it. He's just so humble, and I just was in awe, man, just about looking at those stats. When I told him those stats, man, and then he said Dr. J was right behind him. Like, wow, man. Like,
he said it was a guy behind him. You think you might know his name, Julius.
Right.
Hey, I remember the ABA, the announcer asked him that. He was like, "Why you guys like the ABA?" He said, "Because of the ball."
That red, white, blue ball, man. But also, man, you know, back in the day, that ABA was more flashier and all that, you know.
Yeah.
So that NBA needed that. You know, even though the ABA was struggling, like he said, but the NBA needed that, you know, to change that flavor, you know. So, man, big ups to Artis, man, for doing this thing and putting it down for a very long time.
And shout out to the positivity that he preached, you know, the same thing that you be always talking about. You don't have to always do the negative stuff. You know?
Man, no.
You get more bees with honey, baby.
That's right. That's right. So, man, we had
Chicago, man. They love it because we keeping it positive and we not going negative, man. If you want to catch us negative, catch us at the Barn Grill, all right?
So let's give shout outs before we get up out of here, man.
Let me see who we got. James Hollins, Chris Williams. I kind of switched over. It was quite a few people on here checking us out. Okay. I kind of switched over from the live stream to my watch. But, man, straight up, man, thanks, everybody, for watching it, man. I wish we could have had Artis Gilmore a little longer. He had a prior engagement, but he gave up his time. He had NBA Hall of Famer. He had that Naismith. He got it. Is it a head? Do they put their head in there in the Naismith?
Man, yeah, man. This dude is a Hall of Famer, man. He's good. He's good.
In there, do they have a picture of your head? I mean, a statue of your head? How do they do it?
Yeah, they got everybody, whoever was a Hall of Famer, they got your statue, they got your head, you know, shot right there, man. And it's going to be forever imprinted, you know, in the Hall of Fame. So when you go visit, you see all those players that came before him, all the guys who got inducted that year. So it's a beautiful thing, man. If you got kids, man, definitely go check it out.
Out there, what is it, Massachusetts, right?
Big shout out to Kevin, Jim, thank Dimitri, you know, he's always with us. Checking us out, man. So, man, we just want to appreciate you guys. Continue to support us, and man, it's all ball Chicago all day. And Brian, Jermaine, I see you. Jermaine Gonzalez, hey, what's up, my man? So, Dennis Johnson joined us, man. So we had some people come in and chime in and enjoy it. And then you guys can rewind the show too, because we're gonna put it back out there on YouTube too. So make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel, All Ball Chicago. But another good one, Bob.
Hey, where else you gonna meet Artis at, y'all? Where else you gonna meet him at?
Only on All Ball Chicago, man.
Y'all didn't even know he was still around like that. I mean, I consider him, you know, real quick before we get up out of here, I'll put him in the same breath as Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, all of them, man. Bob Lanier. You can't mention those guys without mentioning Artis Gilmore. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
No question, man. I mean, he shot, man, I think one year he had to shoot almost 70%.
Yeah, it was 67 to be exact, Liz.
Okay.
67.
Okay, so.
He was dunking every damn ball.
but you heard what I said when I was talking about how he was just, you know, aggressive on both ends. Like, I got to get these rebounds. I got to get my points. And, man, you just don't see that. No, you don't see that hunger no more on both ends, you know. Like, 22 rebounds a game, man, in college, he averaged? Come on, dude.
Right.
Come on, man. So, man, another good one, Bob, man. And
it was a short one, but we'll be back, though. This is the shortest one we ever had, but it was a good one, though.
Yeah, man, but he dropped some knowledge within that short time, though, and that's more important to me, to get the points across and just jibber jabbing all day, kind of like what we're doing now. But let's get up out of here, man. You have a good weekend, man. I know.
My brother, be safe out there in Florida, man. Love you, man. Be good, man. Love y'all, Ball Chicago. Hey, swing over to Believe Podcast Network. Download all our shows, man. Go to YouTube, subscribe to our page, and we finna drop some new stuff next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, big fella, holla at you, man.
Artis Gilmore. All right, man. One love. All Ball Chicago.